time to rejoin the conversation. And we are back, and normally at this point I'm saying, okay, here we go, party politics, but today we are talking all that jazz with Max Groove. Once again, welcome, my man.
Guys, thank you once again fucking having me. You guys are hilarious. I never knew this was going down, man. The fucking Loft Party podcast. Guys, this is happening.
Every Monday.
Every Monday?
Every Monday. I got a quote here.
You're the brain surgeon.
I got a quote here that you said. You're one of the pioneers of this thing they call smooth jazz.
Actually, I didn't say that. People have been saying that about me.
AKA baby making music.
That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Well, you know what? Worse than baby making music? Cleaning the house music. I made a lot of money off of fucking elevator music. You've heard me in the shopping malls. You've heard me in elevators. You've heard me anyway, trust me. You've heard me on soap operas. Days of Our Lives, General Hospital. Wow. Man, I made a shitload of money off of the Young and Restless.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it, man. That was hilarious. Cha-ching. Bought a new Saab, 5 Rolexes. Back in the day, I did the syrupy shit when all the cats were doing, like David Sanborn and all those guys, the Spyro Gyra.
Yeah.
My music was charting in Billboard, man. I was fucking out there doing it.
Yeah, but, I mean, because
my music was a little
serious
softer.
Yeah.
It had more of a melody, melodic structure,
and
a groove, Max Groove, imagine that. But with a melodic structure, and that's how that came about,
So I was reading that you had a group before Max Groove.
Well, I had a disco band.
Yeah. Wait, now, one of my favorite words in the English language happens to be the name of your disco band, and that was Moxie. Exactly.
Yeah, man.
That's a great fucking word.
Isn't that great? But it was spelled M-O-X-Y. That was because of Deborah, our vocalist. She came up with that. Her and Blake, I believe, came up with that name.
All right.
But we had this disco band. We did a lot of original, and we toured, man. We did all the great shit, man. And then I became such a drunken, drug addict whore that I had a terrible ego.
Sounds fun.
Yeah, it was fucking excellent, dog. I have stories.
I'll drink to that.
Thank you, me too, thank you. But I couldn't do it anymore. All of a sudden, it was like, all of a sudden I woke up and said, hey, there's something better than this. So I dried out. Right. This cat hired me to work in his studio to answer the phone, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because I had been working there doing overdubs.
Okay.
And with the special machine I had. That no one did in the country had at the time. There were 3 of them in the States, right? And it was a big string thing. I did all this orchestra type shit with one machine. It was great.
All right.
Back in the 70s, that was hip, and then I became a studio engineer, worked there, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Was it here in KC?
Yeah, actually it was.
Which one? Wow.
Yeah, what's
NMI Productions on 75th and right off Warnell, Pennsylvania.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? And I came off the street and worked there. He had a 16-track studio, taught me how to be an engineer while I was drying out and answering the phones, and I wrote a shitload of material. And that changed my life. That cat that just changed my life, man. I mean, he used me. I was good at what I did, making the strings for gospel records and big R&B records and stuff like that.
Speaking of
these guys had a bunch of, they were hooked up, and then they moved over to 55th and True, so we took on the whole inner city.
Okay.
All the R&B shit came through us.
Okay.
It was great. And I was the manager of the studio.
Yeah. Speaking of R&B, I was reading. You've been on some really serious tours. So let me throw some names out there. The Temps.
Lots of drugs, man.
Four Tops,
More drugs.
Peebo Bryson for all
Never
you
did
out there.
drugs with him. He was a wonderful cat, man. That was a lovely man.
Shaka.
You know, I didn't. There was a time. I want to take you about Peebo. There was a time that we were at the Kiel Auditorium in St. Louis, huge hall, and the promoter was screwing me, right, all over the place. It was terrible.
Was she hot?
No, he was ugly. But they were.
No Vaseline or nothing.
No, man, fuck no. And Peebo wouldn't go on until I got paid.
Oh, wow.
Swear to God.
That's awesome.
Swear to God.
That's taking care of it.
That is awesome.
Nice.
So I'm just saying that was the kind of man the kind of gentleman that he is for all us old cats, because I did shows with him and we used to laugh about that, but when you do, anyway,
So, the one name that threw me, but the name that threw me because of the age of the artist was Count Basie.
This would have been 81. It was before he died. That time in his life, they used to, he was in a wheelchair and he used to he couldn't get up the concert, all the halls, but he couldn't get up the steps. So he'd pee literally in a coffee.
Oh, wow.
Big coffee can they had for him. My mom and dad were friends of his. I swear to God, when I was 14, I didn't know who the fuck he was, frankly. I didn't care at 14.
Right.
I didn't know shit. I just was chasing the, whatever.
Yeah.
I was a street kid.
Yeah.
And, but my mom was an old opera singer, and my stepfather was a jazz violinist that had played with Count for years, off and on. And so years later, when I got to open for him, because guys at the Uptown Theater, I was signed to Phaline Production, owned or ran the Uptown Theater.
Okay.
Bob Bogus, he put me on all these shows. I played with that's how I got with the Temps. All these guys, after I played with them, they loved us. We did a lot of drugs. They loved us. My tour manager provided it.
So this is during the Max Groove group.
Yeah. This was like 1980, the 80s.
Yeah.
Early
so
80s.
This is because I was reading that the name actually came from the group was Max.
No, there was a group. I didn't take the identity until '84.
Okay.
Because everyone just associated me with it because I was the Mouse. It was my mouth. It was my band anyway. But at that point,
So they were calling you Max.
They were doing it anyway, and I didn't. I never wanted to do it, but I'm glad I did because it's made me a lot of money.
Yeah. So Brian wasn't good enough.
No, it's not. Brian Paul Holman, fuck that. Max Groove, cha-ching.
There you go. I want to sneak that on you, Brian. I want to sneak that on you that his name was Brian as well.
With an I.
How old would you be when you opened for Count
Everybody call you Brain? Because that's where Brain Mask came from.
I'm hip, man.
Yeah. How old would you have been back then?
Let's see, 31.
Opening for Basie.
Yeah, basically.
That's a fucking legend and you're playing with
I
him.
know.
You know what? It was funny. I was touring with Count, and they made me. Whenever we played with him, they would take the microphones. One right off the bat, I was honored that I got to play the grand piano. Freaked me out that he allowed me to play his piano on any gig, right? Because whoever he was endorsed, and whoever gave him the piano, they bring it in for Count Basie. And they tune it before he'd ever walk up. I get done, they were tweaking it, right?
Right.
But they take the microphones off the grand piano when he played.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God. Because if you wouldn't shut up and listen, then you didn't get to hear him. Same thing with her, the guitar player. He, I'm sorry, it was a Freddie. Sorry, Herb Green was my other vocals.
Okay.
Freddie, he played an arch top and didn't have an amp.
Oh, wow.
Sat right next to Count, and that's how he kept time for Count Basie. That's how Count kept his time. It's because Freddie.
So he was still really playing. They weren't overdubbing it with somebody else.
No, that was him. Yeah. And
they did do that back then.
Not with him.
A lot of the older people.
No, well, but that was when they were doing the big R&B thing.
Right.
No, Count was on it, man. I was there.
Wow, shit, that's awesome.
For the shows that I did. Yeah, what an honor. And my mom, I had a lemma, I swear to God, man, the first time I played with Count at the Uptown, that started the whole tour because the promoter liked my band, a lot of drugs, liked my band, and they put us on tour with him. Thank you, tour manager, drug dealer. I swear to God, that's how it happened. I can't help it. But what happened was they liked us, and they kept putting us on tour with them. We'd be the opening act for them. Wherever they'd show up, and they'd all be a big party. We'd all fucking win shindig, so. But Count Basie, my mom knew him. And I brought my mom in, and she hung on the side of his wheelchair, and they talked all fucking night long. And here's a good story, if I can tell you. Right? If you don't mind, the first time I played with Count Basie, his tour manager, a brother, decked out in a 3-piece white suit, man.
Right.
Came up after our first set, because we were doing 2 shows that night, right? Came up to the first set and said, Count, we can't have these guys play again for you, man. That's totally off. They're terrible. They're no good. No boom, 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 right? Because, well, it's not that we stunk, but dudes, I play more of a fusion smooth jazz. I don't play swing like what should be playing with Count Basie. It wasn't. It all had to do with the promoter that knew me and wanted to help me, and the theater company that I was signed to. They put me on that. They didn't give a shit about nothing. Put Max Groove on there, right? Well, the people loved us, but the critics were terrible. It was the worst review I've ever had. So anyway, this guy comes up to Count Basie. You can't have them play for you again. And I had written a song called Espresso. It's ba-da-da-ba-ba-da-da-ba-ba, ba-da-da-ba-da-da-ba-ba-doodle-ba, and it's a swing song. And so the guy's screaming at Count, and Count looks up at me with my mom hanging onto the wheelchair, looking up at him, right? And I got this babe next to me. I was a stud. And long hair and the tux. And Count looks up at me and he goes, hey man, do that coffee song for me, would you? That was it. Boom. That tour manager, Count's manager, turned around and walked away. That was it. That was the law. When Count said that was it. No more discussion. That was it.
Right.
Wow.
Right? And I got to, and I did. I played the coffee song for him. Espresso.
And he loved it.
Yeah, he did, man. And it was honored. And I got to go play a few other shows with him through St. Louis and Memphis and that kind of shit. Mm-hmm. And we went and did these shows, man, with Count Basie. It was awesome, man. It's awesome. And I did drugs with a bunch of them guys.
So I was reading that you released, was it before 91? You released 12 albums?
At 491?
Yeah.
No, my whole career so far.
Oh, you've released 12, okay.
12 CD, 12 albums, 12 recording projects.
Mm.
I'm working on my 13th now. Well, I play every Wednesday. If you guys want to come out and see me, I hope you do. Bring Rieger.
Definitely.
I'll drink it that night. I'll drink Rieger Gin if you come out to my gig Wednesday night at the Prohibition Hall, 1118 McGee,
Be there.
9 to 12. I'll drink my ass off on your gin. I might even pay for it.
You know what?
No.
You know what? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not.
I will be drinking Rieger Gin if you come.
You know what?
Not that I
we gotta go, and at least we gotta get a picture
every Wednesday
of him and a bottle of Rieger. We gotta get.
Yeah, hell yeah.
We gotta do it.
Okay, so I have a couple questions.
Yeah, please.
I have 3 that I'm dying to know.
You what?
I have 3 questions I'm dying to know.
Yeah.
So, given the history of Kansas City Jazz, if you could go back in time and play with anybody, Benny Moten, Charlie Parker, anybody who's come out of Kansas City, who would you want to play with? And I get the styles are different, but who would you just look back on in Kansas City Jazz and go, that's somebody I missed out on?
Well, I wouldn't want to play with Charlie Parker. He was a dickhead. My father knew him pretty well, and they didn't like. My father had a problem with it because he was into heroin. And
he was a mess.
My dad was an alcoholic, so their drugs didn't mix.
That is true.
Swear to God, if you want to know the truth about anybody on the planet I'd like to play with, other than my father, of course, I wish I could play with him. He was the most awesome violinist, gypsy jazz violinist, bar none.
Really?
Right? Swear to God, he was the baddest. And I'm a classically trained violist, believe it or not. Yeah, I took second in state all through high school. And
Wow.
I was a real clown. And then I realized viola players don't get laid. No, they don't. Piano players get laid and get to do drugs.
I was just gonna say, is that when you switch the keys?
Yeah. Yes. Yes. I also play guitar, but I write songs
You
on
write on
guitar.
piano. Oh, you write.
And then
okay.
I put them over to the piano.
Okay.
'Cause, yeah, for whatever reason. It's my quirk.
Greatest venue you would have loved to have played back in the heyday, like the Playmore, the Torian, or whatever.
No, I did those already.
He's like, been there, done that.
Nah, Playmore would have been.
My
well
father
along
played the
there.
Playmore.
I mean, that was a
That was
monster.
that was the
That was the place to go.
yeah. I did play Freedom Palace and Cowtown.
You
said you played the
Cowtown?
Cow Palace.
with
Yeah.
this rock band. It's kind of a kind. I don't know what you call it now. Kind of a blue country swing, I guess.
This would have had to been early '70s then.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I've been playing since. Well, I've been playing full time for a living since '73.
But that's when Crab House was at its
But I was
heyday.
playing before then, right? I was gigging with rock and roll bands, and I played with lots of country bands, and some other shit. No. So, what's your third one then?
It's just out of all the, because clearly jazz musicians can play almost any instrument they want, and they're incredibly talented.
Most guys are. I'm not.
Yeah, no, you've already said you can play. Clearly, you play piano. You can play viola as well.
And I play guitar.
What would you pick
What would I pick of any instrument?
out of your just absolute love of instruments?
Oh, well, you know what? I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. I
It's a
love
hard
grand
question.
piano, but one of my favorite instruments of all times is acoustic guitar.
Ah.
Swear to God, I have a beautiful Taylor I play. I just sold my Guild 12 string that I'm crying over.
Why? Oh,
1970
God.
Guild 12
Are you
string that I
kidding
used to
me?
put on my ex's belly so my children could hear. I tuned it down to that earth tone, like I would strum it on her belly while the kids were in the.
Oh my God.
It's just beautiful. But you know what? Fucking the wife's gone, children's gone. Give me the money.
I don't know, an acoustic 12-string guitar though. Seriously, that's.
Yeah, but I have some other guitars too.
Yeah.
And I bought
As
the
do
I
I.
bought
I'm
the
just a
6-string. For my sister, I bought in '69. I bought the 6-string F50R, the exact model of the 12-string that I bought later.
Oh wow,
So they were matching.
that's awesome.
Yeah. Coming out to Prohibition Hall Wednesday night, and
Definitely. I
you're
will be
bringing
there.
some bottles with you, so I don't have to bring my Sapphire.
I'm bringing some Rieger gin. I'm bringing a Rieger whiskey, and we're having a good time. It's gonna be fun.
You'll enjoy my band. I have a great concert band. You'll enjoy this.
That's awesome.
I included some new players to my band, so I'm adding them
Okay.
Wednesday night.
You're not doing you don't have just the trio.
It'll be a trio, but is the core. But then I've got the guitar player. I got a trumpet player and a sax player coming
Ooh.
out.
Ooh, yeah.
My vocalist. I may have a vocalist. I don't know.
So
He's
what
in
got
town.
what got you into swing there as opposed to swing? Because swing.
Well,
is
I
like
don't
Kansas
know,
City's
man.
known
I
for.
think all I can say is I think it may have been. Swear to God, don't laugh at me. I think it's pot. I do.
I was gonna ask him.
I think that I relaxed. I mean, I always played. I was a B3 player.
Uh-huh.
I used to be Johnny Guitar Watts's piano keyboardist in '74. Do you know what that was like?
I just been to say
You
that.
remember it?
That
Well,
has to be some
you know what I remember, guys.
Just the
Here's what I
pictures.
remember. I remember $120 a week, right?
Uh-huh.
5 nights a week, $120 a week. All the cut cocaine I could snort, and I mean mass amounts, and all the sisters I could have every night after the gig. The guy was a pimp from LA. I swear to God, the musical director, the brother, bring all these chicks by. I was the only white guy in the band.
I was just going to say.
I swear to God.
Boss,
And you know what? I only got this gig by accident.
Look, see, here's the secret.
But he liked my soul, man.
Here's the secret. Most white guys don't know this. A lot of sisters
better
like
be
blue ass soul brothers. A lot of sisters like blue ass soul brothers. They do.
Thank you.
And
I'm sorry, you're telling me what?
well, I know you know this, but
lot.
I'm talking to.
Anything the rest of us can do.
I'm talking to people out there in podcast land. People out there in podcast land who may not
One of
know.
the sisters in New Orleans too.
There's a lot of sisters that
Well,
do like
you know
blue
what?
ass soul.
That's true. And I tell you what, I lived up to whatever it took.
I know several of you play instruments. Maybe you should switch genre. That's all I'm saying. And didgeridoo doesn't fit. Into
Well,
in the urban soul.
wait.
I'm just
Doesn't
saying.
Lane? Does he do the tube like the polka? Oompa, oompa,
He does. Lane does a lot of skin flute.
I play the skin flute.
If these are
Maybe we should get together and do a tune.
if these are your
But I'll bring
friends,
some strippers,
wow.
okay?
Awesome.
Thank you.
Best
Max.
jazz city left in
His
America.
wife Franny did just get pregnant, so at least something works.
Oh
That's
my
true.
God, she's pregnant.
I know.
You were so screwed.
I know.
Thank you.
I'm already demanding a paternity test.
You know what? You should.
You better hope Franny doesn't listen to this.
I'm down there.
Smack the shit out your ass.
Best jazz city left in
The
America.
kid comes out half brother, be like, it's not mine.
What's the best one?
What's,
Wait,
sorry, wait. Somebody asked.
what was the question again?
This is a legit question. What's the best jazz city left in America? There's a lot of places that.
Jeez, I don't know. I, you know what? I get to play all over. Every so often, people will
Green
remember
Bay,
me.
Wisconsin.
Swear to God, every
That is
so
not
often.
enough.
I did a concert. I did a concert this year in Tulsa.
Ah,
They remembered me, man. They brought me down, and I did a big show in front of about not quite 2,000 people.
Okay.
I headlined. There were 4 bands, and I
Okay.
was the headliner. And they remembered me, and I just I think Tulsa was a real, and they've got a great jazz scene going on.
All
This
right.
is a cat called John Taylor that's making it work.
yeah.
So, but I love Kansas City. I wish 18th and Vine wasn't so politically bullshit, you know.
Yeah.
Can,
Yeah.
can I fit in something on that?
Here
real
we
quick?
go.
Well, 12th Street is
Here
where
we go.
it was supposed to be.
There's a very beautiful plaque there that's like.
Yeah, but that's where it really happened, guys.
Yeah,
12th Street.
absolutely.
It wasn't
The
18.
song even says 12th Street in the
Let me pin in a little something on that. I was
You wanna
good-
do what to me?
I was good friends with Danny and Gene down at Danny's Big Easy. And of course, Danny and
Who,
Gene.
Danny, who?
Danny
I'm sorry,
Gassaron.
You know, Danny bought me I shouldn't say, should I?
No, you should.
You know, I knew Danny real well, and Gene, I love Gene.
Gene was
God
wonderful.
bless
What
her.
a wonderful funeral we had. for her,
Wonderful. You know what? I had a gig and I couldn't make it, and I was so pissed. I was gonna, but I couldn't. You know, I needed money.
Right.
Fuck that.
Right.
You know, and she, you know, Jean was my pearl. I mean, she's my partner. She knew.
Wasn't she a beautiful woman?
Yeah, she was.
She really was. I mean,
And honest to God, you know, and Danny, even though he's a dick fuck motherfucker and he has a lot of issues, I always loved him, man.
I love Danny.
I do too. I
I-
admit, even right now, even though all the bullshit he put me through and all the hate and the wanker shit, I still love him. I can't help it.
And the bottom line is, it should be our Beale Street in many ways.
You know what?
But
It
I
should
think
be.
it would take private management. And that's where it can't go because there's too many people got a hand in the till down there.
Well, let's just see what happens. I think there's a new scene going on. I will say this, okay, guys? Not many people know this, but Cleaver originally, I was supposed to be the guy that ran the gym theater in the Blue Room.
Okay. Okay.
No, I swear to God, I've been a recording engineer and I know my sound. I used to go around and, man, I put together the whole PA for the gym. I had the blueprints way before it was ever built. And I was the man. And I tell you what, there was a bunch of shit that went down that I didn't want to, frankly, dudes, I'm an honest man. I just want to get high, make music. I don't give a fuck. And get a blowjob, okay? I admit it.
In that order.
But you know, but the gig is I didn't play the political
Hashtag
game,
me too.
so I got the hell out. I want you to understand something. Cleaver was right. I'm a bad motherfucker. I would have made that happen.
I think you
and it
would've.
wouldn't have been like it is now. Because I know the rapport. I know what it takes to deal with agents. I know what it takes to do sound. I know what it takes to run a bar because I ran bars for years before I became a full-time musician.
You know how much to cut
Right?
the coke.
Let's do it.
See, I was there.
Let's do it,
I
baby.
was there, and I know what it takes. And I want to say the cats that are there now, they've tried. And there's a guy that's got some good going on, but you know what? It's more than that. You got to be a personality. You got to be the man. Goddammit. You got to make it happen.
You know
and them clowns, I'm tired of them fucking it up.
It used to blow my mind. You go in there on that Saturday jam that they had down at Danny's, and the talent that would come in there that were
Well, I hosted.
they had no gigs.
I hosted most of those Saturdays.
They had no other gigs than just to have some talent and come down and sit there and play or sing with the
Yeah,
band.
but you know, let me tell you
Some of them
something.
were damn
Let me tell
good.
you something. Also, the people need to come out and support it. You can't have the brothers and sisters
I agree.
sit around and drink water and beer.
I agree.
You know, you can't make any money.
I
You know,
Well, you know,
that's
that's
I
something that I
Raucous.
always wondered
Yep.
wondered about. You know, as far as the jazz scene in Kansas City. Besides just talking to you about your career, I wanted to talk about jazz in Kansas City and some of the reasons that it's for as much as Kansas City is known for jazz. Why isn't the jazz scene what, like you say, why don't we have a Beale Street?
Because they're all a bunch of money-grubbing digs.
Right. Right.
It's
They all are self-serving. You know, guys, you want to get involved in something? Here's the fucking deal. Go talk to John Scott from the Green Lady, goddammit. Look at John Scott with the
I love the
Green
Green
Lady.
Lady.
He's got an upstairs that's packed. He's got a downstairs, the Orion room, that's packed. And now he just bought friggin' Black Dolphin, the bar right next to him.
Did it? Okay, all right.
That's packed. And now he's got a place next to that. Then he's going to have underage kids come in to showcase their material.
Now here's what's
Now, here's a
amazing
man.
to me
Wait a
about.
minute. Here's a man with a vision that's making something happen
Exactly.
for fucking Kansas City jazz. I am so sick of these clowns fucking promoting jazz and they're playing blues or rock and roll like the Phoenix. They'll throw a friggin' little fucking jazz band on though they're my friends and they're all awesome on Monday night. But the bottom line is they talk about jazz, but they're not jazz.
But they're not jazz. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But John Scott is true to his school on that whole environment at 18th and Grand.
Yeah.
Dudes,
Yeah.
that's the next big thing.
All right.
That is the next big thing.
Boogaloo 7, man. How much fun
Awesome
are
on
they?
Friday nights.
They're awesome. They're fun.
Man, everybody is awesome there. I play there. I'm awesome. I have a great time. Really? I have a great time. Listen, that's the place to play, guys.
Yeah.
That's you want to talk about Kansas City jazz. Fuck 18th and Vine. Look at 1809 Grand.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
I remember when
And
they
quote me on
first-
this ass.
I remember when they
He's
bought
making
first,
money
so-
out his ass because he knows what to do.
Don't you
And
wonder?
he reinvests that money back in the community of jazz. He's not sitting on it and putting it in his butt. He's fucking making it work.
Don't you wonder how many places the city can support though at this point? I would be curious to know because.
Well, you know what? Are we talking Power and Light District?
No. So here's the hard part because this is a podcast that goes nationwide, and a lot of them don't know the geography of Kansas City. So there is a probably 5 to 6 block division of nothing that goes between the eastern edge of the crossroads, which is what you're talking about.
Okay.
There's a 6 block nothingness in there where there's no development, there's no anything, which is where a city like New Orleans has it over us because that's all connected.
Right,
And they can
right.
keep these, you can hop bar to bar to bar to bar to bar and have a great time.
That's why John at the Green Lady there on Grand. That's what he's building.
Sure. But you wonder if you really wanted to connect those two, which I think would be the key to really getting a thriving jazz scene back.
Connecting
How-
Grand and
yes.
Vine.
The
Yes.
It's
Okay.
been talked
Because
about
then
forever.
you have an
Then you're
entire
gonna have about half a dozen clubs in between there.
That's what I'm saying.
On 18th
It
Street.
would be awesome. That would be
You
the
need
thing
that
would
little
make it happen.
corridor.
Right.
That's gonna put it together.
That's your Beale Street.
Yeah,
Now
yeah,
you're back.
yeah.
Now
Well, you
just run
got the
rotation
grinders.
of
Those guys
Yeah.
are great.
yeah,
Yeah.
they do all kinds of different music.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not
see,
just a
I
jazz
understand. But you know what? Get them involved. Get that whole scene going involved.
thing. Well, and they would be interested. I mean, Brett Mossman does a great job with booking bands and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, he does.
And he's had the bottleneck in the Granada and Lawrence for years, and he
So I
does a
need
good
a
job
gig,
with
man.
Pipeline.
Turn me on to him.
Yeah,
Really?
he used to play at his clubs all the time in Lawrence. Got your card.
I can't get into the jazz house. I need work, man.
A
I'm
jazz
course. Yeah,
In Lawrence?
yeah.
Oh God, that's a different dude. That's a guy named Rick.
Chip died recently. He was I went to high school with all these guys.
Yeah, we used to play at Jazz House all the time. So
I
it was
didn't.
great. I mean, it was so awesome and it was so fun. It was upstairs and it held about 200 people and when it was packed, it was sweaty and disgusting and awesome and dollar beers and it was great. But that's the kind of vibe that has kind of gone away now that this area is being re-gentrified, like most downtown cities are trying to do. It raises the rents. It keeps out places like that. And those are the key to the city, I think, in a lot of ways.
I agree.
You know, so I'd love to see some of those protected.
So how often do you gig now in the city?
Well, you know, it depends. Maybe 3 times a week.
Okay.
You know, and but every so often, I swear to God, you know, half a dozen, maybe sometimes 10 times a year, people will remember me and put me, say, hey man, you need to do our chefs, you know, all that.
Right.
You know, or I'll get a bunch of corporate gigs, big money.
Right.
You know,
Corporate Woods and that.
and some wine. Well, I don't do. They won't play me at Corporate Woods. I've been blacklisted a few places.
So
I can't imagine why.
out of curiosity,
Fuck you, like, you have some room to talk. Brian, come on back.
Hey, I got to run out of 2 steaks.
Hey, can I ask one more question real quick?
Thank
Because
you.
I think this will appeal.
you got another question?
Yeah, just one more. Because I think this will appeal to you too.
Yeah.
Because I know you're getting ready. You're recording already your 13th album.
Yeah.
From the time you started recording, which I would assume you probably would have been doing 4-track stuff when you were a kid and doing all that and working up, you were 16-track. What is the difference in recording and how you approach it now? Because I'm assuming it's probably all digital for you now.
Well, you know,
what's the sound
unfortunately, it is digital. Geez, man, I don't know how to put it. I guess I'm a whore. I fucking, right now, every word you just said, I could change every nuance, every little breath, every little, any kind of nasal expression, any kind of thing I can tweak inside of my editing tool and change your words.
What do you record
and
into?
express. Well, you know, it depends. I'm still an old fart that likes to record into a 24-track machine.
Really?
Okay.
My preference is to go with a 16-track for my drums and bass, 24-track for my piano and guitars, and sax. And then I take all that and I load it into Pro Tools,
Okay.
and then I'll do all my jack-off editing.
So are you still recording to 3/4 tape? Is
1
it not even
inch,
selling
2
anymore,
inch,
do
2
they?
inch.
2 inch.
Okay.
Yeah, but yeah, they do. It's fucking expensive.
There's only
but
one place left that makes it, I thought.
I don't know. In Nixa.
There's only one manufacturer left of analog tape.
3M, I think, still is doing it.
That's the last one, I think.
Okay.
Wow.
It's about $364 a
Yeah, it's
roll,
not cheap.
Yeah, I was just about to say that's an
Only about
expensive
3
process.
It's not cheap at all.
Yeah, 'cause I
but
do
then
everything.
I
do-
will be honest, I've done some songs because I started off that way, but then, you know what? Because all you little pussy bitches listen to it on fucking little
Earbuds, yeah.
and MP3s
Yeah, we'll
and
compress it
bullshit. No, they don't compress it down. They don't even bother. Everybody thinks you can master in some little basement studio. I'm so sick of hearing non-quality hi-fi fidelity. You know, I'm an engineer by God. I'm an artist.
But do you embrace any of the new, for example, like they have Blu-ray discs now that you can do 7 channels surround sound, any of that kind of stuff?
Yeah. When I mix for fucking that, I'll mix for that, the 5, the surround sound. I will mix for that. But I also mix for the stereo mix. And then I squash the fuck out of it and listen to it on all sorts of different shit.
Gotcha.
You know?
In your heart, is there still a part of you that loves the analog?
I'm sorry.
Or is it done?
I'm sorry, did you notice I have a heart on when you said analog? Yeah, man. Fuck yeah.
Pop out
Because
your cigar.
my first album, listen, my first album was Half Speed Mastered. Half Speed Mastered. There was 110 albums released that year by these big high fidelity cats all around the world. 110 albums that were released that year that were Half Speed Mastered. 109 of them were all symphony. One album that year, Me, was released as Half Speed Mastered, quality, high fidelity.
Wow.
And that was my first album I ever recorded in 1980.
Wow.
Right?
That's crazy.
But I was an engineer. I went for the high fidelity.
You knew how to. You
I
knew
did
how
that
to
because
do that.
I'm a
right?
bad motherfucker.
That's what.
Now I can go into any Pro Tools session. I can, I go to LA. I kick everybody out of their studio. I pay them for 2 weeks up front, $1,200 a day, and say go on vacation.
Yeah.
And let my people come in because I'm going to do me. I hire my one engineer and maybe two as backup.
Right.
I have 280 cables going into patch bays.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You're real old school
Very
engineer shit.
well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
What's the-
76 input at Neve V-Series with flying faders. Totally, dog.
What's the coolest place you've ever recorded?
You know what? I will say Tobin's place. Studio recorders, studio sound recorders in Hollywood. George Tobin was the guy that did Tiffany. Remember Tiffany?
Oh yeah.
Tiffany, she was a big hit.
Canadian mall singer?
He was the guy that fucked her over and took all her money and built his own
like this
recording
guy.
studio in Hollywood. Well, I recorded there.
Listen.
One of my producers, and I've had a few, I know what to do because I don't trust me.
Right.
So I hire producers.
Right.
Because I want to make money, bitch. So,
Wait. Slow down 1 second.
I'm listening now.
That actually opens up a door.
well, I'm talking about recording. You're talking about money.
Well, the fact that
Actually, you were talking about mine.
No, I said
the fact that you are a what I would call a traditional musician, you usually don't hear those two in the same sentence.
because you know why? And I'll tell you why, and I understand where you're coming from. in
Yeah.
it. Because if you don't make somebody money,
Doesn't happen.
they have to make money. I sold 80,000 records, right?
Yeah.
At $7 wholesale. Think what that is.
Yeah.
Is that $560,000?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I get 24 to 26% of that?
Exactly. Hey.
But what about your publishing rights for this?
Well, then I get on top of
Yeah,
that.
right.
Did I mention? Oh, wait, but...
money is in the publishing and music.
Well, no, yes. But to get that kind of money, you have to give up some publishing to them.
Yeah.
And I don't have a problem with that because they'll give me under the table some shit.
Yeah. I mean, because being an indie producer myself, I have the same philosophy.
Yeah.
Like if I'm not, I don't care what it is you want to make. If we're not making it to a quality level that it's going to make somebody some money, namely me.
Well,
why in the fuck are we doing?
here's where you made your mistake.
Okay.
Anymore, and I don't mean this in any disrespect.
No.
I'm only going by today's standards.
All
Yeah.
due respect.
You said quality.
Yeah.
Fuck you. Fuck quality. They don't give a shit. Every
No,
motherfucker
you're
I
right.
know
You're right.
is fucking taking songs or bits of my fucking songs that I created in the studio and putting them in samples and making hits for fucking Gaga or fucking Taylor Swift. Do you hear what I'm saying?
No, I did
They're
hear
taking
exactly
that
what you're saying.
shit
You should
that
at least
people
get a
blood,
blowjob.
sweat, and tears and they fucking put it in a whole nother ball game and take it on a whole nother artistic direction.
Right.
And now that's the new directive.
But don't you still get the publishing?
I just been to say-
No,
I'll
you
just
don't get jack fucking shit because it's a sound bite.
Oh,
Hey, Chris, the intellectual property.
Well, and I think that's I think
20%.
which is the reason that I was going in this particular direction, coming from this hip hop school. I grew up where sampling was the thing.
Totally.
But-
Totally, and that's what you're saying because it was all sampled.
But
and all of a sudden,
I personally hate sampling.
you can
Like
take an
because
iPad.
I'm with you. I want to create the track. I don't want to sample somebody else's music because one,
it's the artistic directive, dude.
Yeah,
you're an
right.
artist. You're trying to find yourself as a human being within the realm of everything on an artistic level, and that's what we do.
That's exactly.
And then
what
there's guys that take what we do and make hits for these fucking lame duck fucks.
Yeah.
And it's pop.
yeah.
I can't tell you who I know that is the major player in the world right now.
Jeez.
He's my best friend's son. And I gave him his first guitar.
Wow.
And he won't fucking do me shit.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
It ain't crazy, it's reality.
All right.
Been fascinating.
All right, so,
By the way,
wait, one
What?
second. Wait. We're gonna take a break. We're gonna come right back, and we're gonna continue with Max Groove, because this is some interesting shit. Hey, you having a good time? Let me introduce you to a couple of my media brothers. First, www.americathemixtape.com, a cipher on American politics, society, and culture. And where'd I get that mixtape? Of course, www.cornerbodega.us, purveyors of urban culture. Come on, let's get back to the party. We're back, and before we get out of here, before we get out of here,
Oh, we're leaving? That smells like pot, man.
the Camacho. All right, before we get out of here, we're going to talk about today's sugar honey iced tea. And for those out there who don't know,
I thought you were talking about Max Groove.
hold on.
What do you mean sugar?
Hold on. Before we get out of here, we're going to talk about today's sugar honey iced tea. And for those of you who don't know, those are things that I or members of the group feel are the shit. Now, normally, I usually come up with something that I think was the shit from the week before. And I was all set to do that. But what I decided to do is ask Max Groove, in your 45 years of being a professional musician, there's got to be things that you felt were the shit over the years.
You mean good things or
Good
bad
things.
things?
Good things.
Good things.
Good
Good
things.
things?
Shit.
Yes.
Oh, jeez, guys. I don't know. I mean, I exhibited some of them already to you tonight.
Possibly.
People like People Bryson, that little things like that wouldn't go on stage until I got paid. Those are moments in space and time that you can't forget. Or playing with Ronnie Laws and having his whole band hate me and him having him bitch slap him. There's so many things. Or being with Johnny Guitar Watson, playing these big shows and people just. It's such an honor just to be able to be given a gift, in my opinion, from God.
That's so
to
cool.
be an artist, and to be able to last all this long and still be alive after all the drugs, women, sex, rock and roll that I've done, and still be able to talk about it. L'chaim, you're absolutely right, guys. Be able to say thank you, God, for the gift I've been given at this point in space and time is awesome. And then also to be able to talk with cats like you about these experiences,
Well, thank you,
on
sir.
an open level with the Loft Party podcast. I'm honored, man. No, I swear to God, that's how I really, really feel. Because every day is a new breath. And with every breath I get to express. What an honorable thing to be able to do that and not have to worry about being under the thumb of the man. Fuck the man.
That's right.
Fuck the man.
Amen.
Play music, live, love, dig the skin you're in. Man. Love, sex, rock and roll, man.
Drop the mic.
It's good shit.
Hey, and that right there, podcasters, that is why today Max Groove
Is the shit.
is the shit. And
Thank you, God.
I'm going to end this podcast in the way I end all podcasts, and that is with the toast that started it all for me, and that is to good times with good people.
Good times, good people. Thank you, guys, for allowing me to be with you tonight.